Hello and welcome to another chemistry video with Mr. S. Today we're going to be looking at covalent bonding. Make sure that you watch the previous video on ionic bonding. Now in covalent bonding, you've got non-metal atoms bonding together by sharing a pair or pairs of electrons. Let us look at the simplest case of two hydrogen atoms. Now, each hydrogen atom has one electron in its first shell, which is also its outer shell. Now, we should know from the previous video that atoms are energetically stable when they have a full outer shell. If we're looking at the first shell only, that needs two electrons. So the easiest way for hydrogen to be energetically stable is for it to bond with something else. Now, if it bonds with another hydrogen, each hydrogen atom is sharing that pair in the middle, two electrons. Now, why are those two atoms close together, despite the fact that each one of them in their nucleus has a proton, which has a positive charge? Now, the proton in the hydrogen atom is being attracted electrostatically to the electrons in the middle, which are negative charge. So despite that the two nuclei of the atoms would repel, because of the electrons in the middle, there is an attraction. Now that's going a little bit more deeply why this bonding is actually due to electrostatic forces of attraction. Let us look at a more complicated scenario, looking at oxygen. Each oxygen has 6 electrons in its outer shell. Now, if they just share one electron, that would not work for them to have 8 electrons in their outer shell. Instead, they need to share 2 pairs. So if we draw that, let us put first the 6 of one oxygen atom, and in circles for the other one, like so. Now, if you count around the oxygen on the left, for example, you will see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 electrons from the oxygen atom and 2 extra ones from the ones that are shared from the other oxygen atom. So in fact, this oxygen atom now has 8 electrons, so it is energetically stable. This is called a double bond. Okay, there's another way to draw these type of diagrams by just using a line. For example, in the first one, hydrogen, you can just draw a line connecting the two hydrogen atoms. One line means there's 2 electrons. For oxygen, you draw 2 lines because they're sharing 4 electrons or 2 pairs of electrons. Now let's look at one more example. Nitrogen. Each nitrogen atom only has 5 electrons, so it actually has to share 3 pairs of electrons, like so. And circles 5 for the other nitrogen atom. Looking at around each nitrogen atom has 8 electrons. And in a shorthand, we can show the diagram like that. Okay. The trick in these types of questions, if you cannot think of it on the spot, is to draw the atom by itself and its outer shell electrons and think about how many times does it have to bond to reach 8 electrons in its outer shell. Thank you very much for listening. I hope this has helped.